Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We were fortunate to have completed Shravanam of Kathopanishad earlier, and even more fortunate to be doing the Mananam of this important Upanishad. We welcome you to this session number 18 of Mananam of Kathopanishad. Only a compassionate teacher can guide us through the Mananam process for a doubt-free knowledge, and we are blessed to have one in our revered teacher, Dr. Timappa Hegde sir. Doubt-free knowledge helps us in the process of assimilation so that the ultimate Paravidya becomes a part of our existence. In today's session, our teachers will continue with chapter 2, Valli 1 of Kathopanishad, verses 13 to 15 will be covered. Sir will give us a brief introduction to the text besides providing us the insights for deeper understanding of these verses. After this presentation, we have our much-awaited quiz by Dr. Anupama ma'am. She always brings in the deepest and subtlest form of understanding through her brilliantly framed questions, where answers cannot be found unless there is a thorough absorption. Let us soak ourselves in this unique spiritual experience for the next hour. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Vasumati, for a very nice introduction. With that, we will begin our class today. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharyaya Nachiketa Secha. We have been studying Kathopanishad again and again. One Upanishad that we have studied most often has been Kathopanishad. We are fortunate to have a very unique teacher in Yamadharmaraja. The more we study Kathopanishad, one thing is very clear. Our reverence for Yamadharmaraja increases because here is a brilliant teacher. As our understanding improves, our reverence and appreciation of the teacher becomes so great because in so many ways, he tries to clear the mind blocks to help us to understand our true nature. That I am not a limited being, I am limitless Brahman. That understanding has to come, and that understanding is going to be conveyed in so many ways in this particular Valli. Now, we are concluding the first Valli of the second chapter today. And because it is the concluding chapter, by a concluding Valli, and we have three important mantras, I will give you a brief overview of this entire Valli. Remember, we have finished the first chapter, and in the first chapter, we saw what are the qualifications of a student. Can I be a student like Nachiketa? That is why when we say Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharya Nachiketa Secha. So we bring in Nachiketa because he is a model for all of us to have that Tivra Mumukshutvam and to be able to get whatever qualifications. Now, what our Guru here, Yamadharmaraja, is trying to tell us our true nature. All of us know he wants to help us to realize I am that. All of us know I am. I am a man, I'm a doctor, I'm studying, I am working in India. All this I know. But what I do not know is that I am limitless. Because I am born with this ignorance, then what happens? And because I have a wonderful mind, my mind helps me to identify with this body-mind complex. So the instrument that I use is misidentified as me. but the instrument has got limitations, and I see all those limitations. Those limitations uh, are a product of avidya. And then my mind gives you a lot of ideas how I can grow bigger, how I can become richer, how I can become more famous. These ideas that mind gives are called kama. The moment that idea looks workable, or if I do this, then I will succeed, I will be happy, then I cannot keep quiet. I have to do something. I will stop this class and go and attend to that. That is called karma. Whenever I do any action, there is a consequence of that action, and that produces the cycle of punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Now we have to break the cycle. This Hridaya Granthi, this knot, which is an ancient knot, has to be broken. And that is possible through Brahma Vidya. That is what we are doing. In the last chapter, we had one famous mantra. Adi Shankara refers to this mantra when he's introducing the second chapter. Yesha sarveshu bhuteshu gudatma na prakashate. You know what he's saying? This Atma that we are looking for is there everywhere in all objects, in all beings. But it is good Atma. It is hidden. Na prakashate. It is not seen. Drishyate tva agraya buddhyaya sukshmaya sukshma buddhi. But then, if through Guru and Shastras my mind is refined, then whatever I see is Brahman. Just like in Gita, we are taught to see Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam, that is Isha Vasya Upanishad. In the Gita, we are taught Vishwarupa Ishvara Darshan, whatever. Now, that is the training Yamadharmaraja is giving us too. I'll refer to my favorite verse again in the Bhagavad Gita. Yatanto yoginaschainam pashyanti atmanam avastitam. That means a yogi is able to see that Atma which is situated in all of us. The yogi has that ability because he's refined his mind. Whereas, yatanto apyakratatmano nainam pashyanti achetasaha. So this Bhagavad Gita verse talks that those with a trained mind, pashyanti atmanam avastitam. Those yogis whose mind is trained are able to see the Atma, which is an indweller in them and in everywhere. But for the others whose Atma is not so trained, whose mind is not so trained, even if they try, yatanta, yataha means effort. They have been trying. They have been striving. Even though they are striving, they are not able to attain. Fortunately, we have a great teacher in Yamadharmaraja, and we will see how he is able to help us. Now, all the three Vallis in the second chapter begin with a very prominent mantra. So we should remember the first mantra of all the three Vallis of the second chapter. Now, of all the mantras in the Kathopanishad, this mantra is an important mantra. Paranchikani veternat swayambhuhu tasmat paran pashyati na antaryatman kaschid dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshat avrita chakshufu amrutatvam icchan. All right, let me explain this, although we know. Swayambhuhu, the creator, has created a problem in creating our bodies. Paranchikani vyatharnat. Vyatharnat means it has destroyed, it has harmed in some way, because all our sense organs are essentially focused outside. Tasmat, therefore, paran pashyati na antaratman. If the Atma, which is everywhere, it can be detected only in the plug point, in the socket, which is in my mind, which is in my heart. So, but my sense organs are focused outside, and then I'm not able to see the Atma within me. However, kaschid, some dhiraha, wise people, pratyag atmanam aikshat, are able to see that Atma, that distinct Atma within them. Why? Avrita chakshuhu amritatvam icchan, because they have that desire for immortality. They have gone through certain sadhanas. They have been able to focus their attention. Let us all be those types of yogis. Let us be like that. Although there is an intrinsic problem in all of us, there is, we can call it a birth defect, and yet let us see how we can overcome. This is mantra 1 of the first Valli of the second chapter. Now I'll ask you, what is the mantra, first Valli of the mantra 1 of the second Valli? Now we have this Gita verse, Navadvare Pure Dehi Naiva Kuruvan Na Karayan, mantra number 13 of the 5th chapter, where it talks about the city with 9 doors. Similarly, we have one mantra, Puram Eka Dashadvaram. That means there is a city with 11 openings. We will study about that. Whenever we study about a city, then we are interested in the most important Puraswami. Who is that Puraswami? That is the Atma, the indweller. That is the mantra. That is the key mantra of the next Valli. And then what is the last Valli? There we have the example of the upside down Ashwatha tree. Urdhva Moolam Avakshakaha Yesho Ashwata Sanatanaha. Exactly like that 15th chapter example, where the emphasis is given not on the samsara tree, but the roots. Prominence is given for the roots. So it is, we have to see the whole thing in an upside down way. That means when I'm seeing the samsara, can I see the root of the samsara? So how do we go to that? But before we go to that, we'll come back to the second mantra of the same Valli. Now here Yamadharmaraja is giving us where is the problem and therefore where is the solution. Two problems is, one is avidya kama karma. I do not know my true nature, therefore I look outside. Second problem all of us have is because of our past tendencies, we have strong vasanas. Paranchak kaman anuyanti balaha te mrityanti vitatasya pasham. Yamadharmaraja says, I have kept my noose all around. For those who are running after sense objects get trapped. Atha dhira amritatvam viditva. However, there are people who can avoid these landmines, and they are able to dhruvam, adhruvam, who are able to discover the permanent in the impermanent. See, in every mantra of Kathopanishad, you will see there is a problem, and in the second half of the mantra, there will be a solution. Although there is a problem, there are people, the dhiraha, those who want immortality, they are able to discover the dhruvam. Dhruvam means something that is permanent in the impermanent. So while the indiscriminate ones, that means who have not had Vedantic training, they will go after external pleasures. They enter into the net which Yamadharmaraja has put, which is all-pervading. But the discriminative ones are able to find the permanent in the impermanent. Just a picture to see, have this sarva bhuteshu guda yesha atmana pashyati. That means even though you search so hard, if your mind is not able to be trained, you're not able to find that atma which is hidden. And then if a person goes after sense pleasures, Yamadharmaraja says, my noose is waiting for you. I have set a trap. Now, the teacher is like your examiner. He's giving you the question paper in advance so that you can avoid these traps and be successful in the examination of life. Now, just like Markandeya was able to discover the dhruvam in the adhruvam, if you're able to discover that which is permanent within the impermanent, that is our work. Now, all these problems are there. So Yamadharmaraja gives us a very famous mantra. This mantra, all of us have to spend some time and study. Today, I'm doing a recap. I'm not going into the mantra in detail. The mantra goes like this. Let it be in your memory. Yena rupam rasam gandham shabdhan sparshanchu maitunan yete naiva vijanati kimatra parishishyati etad vaitad. O Nachiketa, this is what you asked for. What did you ask for? You want to know something beyond dharma and adharma, something beyond 3 periods of time. So that which is beyond cause and effect, I will tell you. How to reach that? Yena rupam rasam gandham. That means whatever you see, whatever you smell, whatever you taste, whatever you hear, whatever you touch, in every interaction, can you go from the object to the subject? Swamiji gives us examples of what do you see? You see the hand. In addition, what do you see? You see the hand because light is there on the hand. The light is you're able to see because of my eyes. My eyes are able to see because of my mind. My mind is able to see because of consciousness. Normally, we used to say, Pratibodha Viditam Matam, the famous Kenopanishad mantra. After studying Kathopanishad, all of us are going to say, Yena Rupam Rasam Gandham Shabdam Sparshanchu Maithunan Yete Naiva Vijanat Kimatra Parishishyati Yetad Vaitad. That means in every experience, come in touch with the experiencer. From the object, come in touch with the subject. From the drishyam, come in touch with the drik. So, although my sense organs are focused outside, this is our inborn problem. Can we make use of that problem to discover my source? Mantra number 3, very famous. Then he brings in Avastatraya in mantra number 4. Swapnantam Jagritantam. Both in Swapna and Jagratam, whatever objects that you see, move from the object to the subject. Who is that subject? Mahantam, Vibhum, Atmanam, Matva, Dhira. Now, anybody, such a Dhira who discovers the observer of all the objects in my dream and waking, Anupashyati, who is able to clearly see the observer, such a person does not have any sorrow because he has discovered the observer. He is seeing now the seer. Seeing the seer is the quintessence of meditation. So, mantra number 4 helps you to come back to the source. Now, you have a series of mantras 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, here we are moving from Sarvagnya, the Atma which knows, to Sarvatma. That means whatever I see in Vishwa Virat, Taijasa Hiranyagarbha, Prajna Ishvara. For example, mantra number 5 talks about Prajna and Ishvara. Mantra 6, 7, 9 talk of Taijasa and Hiranyagarbha. Mantra number 8 talks about Vishwa and Virat. You will remember that Arani example that is in mantra number 8. I will not go into each of those mantras. Yaha Purvam Tapaso Jatam. What came in the beginning before the whole creation came, that was Hiranyagarbha. So you have mantra 6, 7, and 9 are Hiranyagarbha related mantras. Number 7 is also a Hiranyagarbha related mantra. Now, the Hiranyagarbha is there. The same thing is there in the Guham Pravishtam. It is there in the Vyashti as Taijasa. So the Taijasa and the Hiranyagarbha are all these mantras. So whatever you see. Then he gives the example of sunset and sunrise. Sun is example of a Surya Devata. And Hiranyagarbha is a collection of all the Devatas. So these are symbolic examples. The Arani example is to tell you about Vishwa and Virat. And Ya Imam Madvadam Vedam Atmanam Jivam Jivamanti Antakam Jivamantakam. Okay, now this mantra talks about Prajna and Ishvara. That I am in deep sleep, I am Prajna. and the same thing is Ishvara. You will remember in the earlier classes, I have told you about Mahavakyas. What is a Mahavakya? Just like whenever a Vedantin teacher teaches, the undercurrent of all his teaching is a Mahavakya. Do you remember the story of a boy who goes to a teacher and the teacher and he asks, I want to know the truth. He says, Prajnanam Brahma. This is called Lakshana Vakya. Are you conscious? Are you able to listen to me? That consciousness is Brahman. Then the teacher gives an Upadesha Vakya. He says, that consciousness in you, Tatutvam Asi. That is it. You are that. But then it is very difficult to believe I am that. Because I know I am consciousness, but I do not know I am. That is my real nature and not my body. And after some meditation and after Shravanam, Mananam, and when I understand that, I claim Aham Brahmasmi. That is fulfillment of my life. And then to meditate on that all the time, we do Ayam Atma Brahma. So there is a Mahavakya. Yad eva tad amutra. Yad amutra tad anviha. मृत्यों से मृत्युम आपनोति या इहा नानेव पश्यति. So you have to be able to discover that the essential core in me is the same as that of Paramatma. The essence of Paramatma is the same as me. That means everything is Paramatma. But in spite of this knowledge, if I see differences, I go from death to death. Nobody can save you. So he gives you a warning, he gives you a Mahavakya, and he tells you how you can avoid going from death to death. That which is here alone is there. That which is there is here. One who sees multiplicity, one who sees duality, goes from death to death. So our effort is to move from the seeming duality to the truth of non-dual Adruva. Now, how does Brahma Jnanam come to us? There is a very beautiful, I had forgotten in this mantra, mantra number 11. Most important mantra of Kathopanishad. Manasai Vedam Aptavyam Neha Nanasti Kinchana. In the first line, he has told everything. He says, through the mind alone, you are able to attain Brahma Vidya. And once you get that, neha nanasti kinchana, there is no sense of otherness. Just like my tongue can bite my teeth and there is a sense of duality, but then I don't punish my teeth because it bit my tongue, because I know the teeth is me, the tongue is me. So although I experience differences, I do not differentiate. But if I differentiate, mrityosu mrityum gacchati. You go from death to death. So that is the warning here. Now, when the teacher Yamadharma Raja says, through our mind alone, you are able to get Brahma Vidya, suddenly there is a problem. Because there are other mantras, so many places where it has said, through the mind you will not be able to get Brahma Vidya. You know, manasa, uh, uh, I'm struggling with the same thing again. You know, aprapya manasa saha. Brahman is something that cannot be attained through speech or through the mind. It can go there and come back. Aprapya manasa, the Taittiriya Upanishad says. And so many in Kena Upanishad and all, they say that you cannot attain it through the mind. But then Yamadharmaraja is saying it is through the mind alone that you are able to get Brahma Jnanam. Therefore, we have to spend some time to understand what this mantra is saying. Now, I'll go through this word by word. This means what? Brahma Jnanam has to be attained through the mind alone. Why? Because mind is the instrument of knowledge, isn't it? So the mind is the locus. I'm sorry. The mind is the locus of knowledge. Sometimes it is the instrument of knowledge also. But for Brahma Jnanam, the instrument of knowledge is Guru Shastra Upadesha. That is why it is called, the instrument of knowledge is called Pramanam. I will explain. Now, the first line says this Brahma Jnanam has to be attained through the mind alone. Then he goes and says there is no duality. And one who sees multiplicity goes from death to death. All right, we'll go again. When the Upanishad says that you cannot know the Atma through the mind, it means through the unprepared mind you cannot know the Atma. When the Upanishad says that it can be known through the mind alone, it means through a qualified or through the prepared mind. Now you should see mind has got two roles in getting the knowledge. It serves as a locus. All knowledge happens here only, including Brahma Jnanam. Now, in sometimes the mind serves as an instrument of knowledge. Like, for example, as a doctor, a person comes with a medical problem. I can use my medical knowledge to solve the problem. So the mind now becomes the instrument of knowledge through reasoning and so on. But can this mind give Brahma Jnanam? That mind cannot give. That has to come through Guru and Shastra. For Atma Jnanam, Vedanta Shravanam, Guru Upadesha is the instrument of knowledge. That means the Guru and the Shastras is the means for knowledge. However, the mind is the locus. This knowledge, the teacher, it has to go through my mind alone. And once you get that, you travel from mortality to immortality. Your perspective has changed because now you know I am Brahman and I do not see differences. I see differences, but I do not differentiate. Got it? So, this you must know how knowledge happens, what is the locus of knowledge, and what is the instrument of knowledge. I'm repeating. The locus of knowledge is always the mind. The instrument of knowledge for worldly purposes is the mind. For Brahma Jnanam, the instrument of knowledge has to be outside, that is Guru and Shastra. So for Brahma Vidya, the mind is the locus where knowledge happens. But the mind is, the knowledge comes to us from Guru and Shastra. Now, what is the role of Yamadharmaraja? All of us know that Brahman or God is Satchidananda. What I do not know is I am that. We all know Brahma Asti, that Brahma Asti has to become Brahma Asmi, and we have to live the life of a Brahma Jnani. With that, we come to almost the end of today's class. In the last class, we touched on this mantra. Angushta matra purushaha madhye atmani tishtati. Now, in Vishwarupa Ishvara, we know that everything that you can see is Ishvara. If Ishvara is there, it should be there in me also. Where is that Purusha in me? It is madhye atmani tishtati, in the center, in the heart. And what is the nature of that? Ishanam. It is the Lord of the past and the future. And once you get to know that you are that Purusha, then tato na tato vijugupsate. This word gup means secret. What is a secret? Now, supposing you have something very precious, then what will you do? You will keep it as a secret. You will not let everybody know where it is kept. You will go to a locker and hide it and keep it in a very secure place. The word gup dhatu means to hide because you want to protect it. Now, na tato vijugupsate. Once you know who you are, then the need to protect yourself is gone because protection is from others. Now there are no others. Now, what are you going to protect and from whom? That is why whenever we say Om Sahana Vavatu, O Lord, please protect us. Now, we are asking for the highest form of protection. And what is the highest form of protection? That I don't need protection. I don't need protection. I will know only through Jnanam. This is the mantra 12, which is the, and then afterwards we have the same mantra is elaborated in mantra 13. In mantra 13, this Purusha is described as a flame without smoke, a unique kind of flame. Now, what is a flame? Flame is a light. Light is that because of which things are known. And ultimately, the light of all lights is Mahadeva or consciousness. So, after this 13th mantra, there are two more beautiful examples of rainwater falling on a mountain and it dissipates. Whenever there is multiplicity, there is mrityu. On the other hand, when pure water is mixed with pure water, for example, the space within me or this room is the same as the total space. It is always, Aikyam is always there. Those mantras we will study in today's class. I will request Dr. Anupama to explain these three mantras. Dr. Anupama, please.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Thank you, sir. Continuing from where you stopped, we have seen mantra 12 and mantra 13 are very similar. Mantra 12 said, Angushta Matra Purusha Madhya Atmani Tishtate Ishano Bhuta Bhavyasya Tato Na Vijugupsate Etad Vaitad. This has been explained. And Angushta Matra Purusha Jyotir Iva Adhumakaha Ishano Bhuta Bhavyasya Sa eva adhyah sa u shvaha etad vaitad. So these are Mahavakya mantras. Here, the Jivatma is described as Purushaha. And what is the size? Angushta Matra. This means Jivatma is seemingly confined to the body. This is a natural misconception because consciousness is experienced only within the limits of the body. In Brihadaranyaka, it is called Anakagraha. So, is there consciousness beyond the body? Certainly, yes, but it's not manifest for want of an upadhi. Why is this a Mahavakya? Jivatma, the Vyashti, and Paramatma, the Samashti, are here equated to be the same. The nature of Jivatma is Purusha. Pure Shayati iti Purusha. So where is this Jivatma located? Madhyama Atmani Tishtati, as though located in the center of the individual's body, which is the heart. In this mantra, Atmani means Sharire, the body. Next slide, sir. So why do we say Jivatma is in the Hridayam, located as if confined? Isn't Jivatma the consciousness? And can consciousness be ever located? Always remember, when we say located, we have to add the word as though or seemingly, because this only symbolizes that Jivatma is the witness, the Sakshi, or the illuminator of presence or absence of thoughts in the mind. And according to Shastra, this mind is located within the heart. So, Jivatma is Manasi Sakshi Rupena Vartate, meaning Vritti Bhava, Abhava, Sakshi of presence or absence of thoughts in the mind. Next, please. So, where else do we get a reference of this Atma being within the heart? We have seen in Mundaka 228, Manomayaha Prana Sharira Neta Pratishtitaha Anne Hridayam Sannidhaya Tad Vijnanena Paripashyanti Dhira Ananda Rupam Amritatvam Yet Vibhati. Now, in this mantra, Manomayaha means Atma, not the Manomaya Kosha, because there is the concept of Atma enveloped by the mind. And Prana Sharira Neta, Atma is described as the carrier of Prana Sharira, because without Atma, there is no adhishthanam for both Prana and Sharira. And Pratishtitha, this Atma is as if installed, where Anne means the Sthula Sharira, and in the Anne, where Sannidhaya, in the space of the Hridayam, the heart. And Tad Vijnane Dhiraha, the Jnani who knows this, Paripashyanti, clearly sees. What does he see? Amritatvam yad vibhati. He sees immortality everywhere. What does that mean? In everything he experiences and sees, he's seeing asti bhati, and therefore ananda rupam. So we know from this that Plurality experienced does not belong to Brahman, but it is only Nama Rupa. The essence Asti Bhati is Brahman. So from the standpoint of the world, we call it Asti or Sata, and from the standpoint of the individual, Bhati or Chita. So Jivatma is located in the heart, the sacred abode of Brahman, Brahmapure, which is nothing than Paramatma, which is installed in the heart. Next, please. So why do we say Jivatma or Brahman needs to be installed in the heart? We know that it is only an enclosed space that is useful for any transaction. For example, we could build the most elaborate, opulent house, but the utility is only for the space within. So it is only the space which is built up that can be utilized. Next slide, please. Sarvagata Chaitanyam is not useful for transactions. This same Chaitanyam, which is enclosed within the mind, becomes useful for Vyavaharik. It is then called Jivatma, the Prana Sharira Neta. Why is it called Neta? Neta means carrier. It is this Jivatma that leads the Sukshma Sharira from one body to another. We have seen in the Bhagavad Gita, Manah Shashtani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Karshati. It's dragging. So we now know that it is within this fist-sized heart is the mind, and within the mind, the witness, the Jivatma. Next slide, please. So if the mind is within the heart, what is the size of the heart? All this is imaginary. It is the size of the space within the heart. And what is the size of the heart? It is presumed to be the size of the fist. It is enough to accommodate the thumb. And what is the size of that space within the heart? It should be equal to the size of the thumb, Angushta Matra. And why do we say that Jivatma is the size of the thumb? Because in that space is the mind. And in the mind are the presence or absence of thoughts which are illuminated by consciousness. Therefore, consciousness is as though the size of the thumb, only because it is best manifest in the mind. Next slide, please. So is the space, so the concept of limitation of space is actually an error. Is the space within a pot limited? No. Limitation is actually a delusion. It is only the capacity of the pot that is limited. Space is both outside and inside the pot. Actually, space is neither inside nor outside because pot is within the space. So consciousness, like space, is not only within the heart, but it's everywhere, and everything exists in that consciousness. That is why it is called Akhanda Atma. And so there is only one Atma, the Jivatma, which can't be different from Paramatma. Next slide, please. So what is the benefit of knowing that I am this limitless Jivatma? Tato na vijugupsate. I never feel insecure. As Dr. Hegde just said, I will know that it is only the body that it is insecure, and only security rests in the fact that I'm not this body. I'm Nitya Shuddha Buddha Atma. Etad Vaitad. This is the Atma that Nachiketas wanted to know as the third Buddha. Next slide, please. So, in the mantra, consciousness has been described as Jyotihi Iva Adhumaka, means consciousness is figuratively described or equated to a flame or light. And here the word smokeless means bright light. Next slide, please. Why do we say that Atma or consciousness is a light? According to Shastra, light is that which makes anything known. So every sense organ is a light because it's only in the presence of each sense organ that the respective Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha are known. And all inputs of these sense organs, for each of these, the locus is the mind of knowledge. So the mind also becomes a light. And the ultimate light of consciousness is that which makes the mind sentient. Therefore, Atma is called Jyotishyam Jyoti, as we have seen in Drik Drishya Viveka. Next slide, please. Rupam Drishyam Lochanam drik tat drishyam driktu manasam drishya dhi vrittayaha sakshi drik eva natu drishyate. As we have just learned, what we need to do is see the previous slide, please. We need to see the drik or the subject in everything we experience. Everything anatma, including the body, is drishyam or the object, and the drik becomes the sense organs. But with respect to the mind, the sense organs are drishyam or object because mind is the drik. And even the mind becomes sentient only because of Atma. So, for the Atma, the mind is Drishyam. And what about the Atma Sakshi? Drig eva natu drishyate. There is no object. It never becomes the object for any other seer. That is why it is Jyotishyam Jyoti. In every experience, we have to focus on the Jyotishyam Jyoti, which is the ultimate seer. Next slide, please. So this Jivatma, the consciousness which illuminates everything in all the avasthas, is none other than Ishana, the Paramatma, Bhuta Bhavyasya Ishana, the controller of past and future. So we understand here that plurality is only apparent. Consciousness is Achalam, Ekam, Sarvagatam, all-pervading. It is only the upadhi that moves around. Plurality and movement of body-mind complex is falsely transferred to consciousness because of the proximity. And how long does this consciousness last? It is eternal, although we don't experience it when the medium is gone, something like a fused bulb. Next slide, sir. So when we see a lighthouse and we see numerous lights moving around in all the directions, we get a delusional feeling that there are so many lights in motion. The fact being, there is one central light, a kutastha achala eka light, like Brahman, and a device with three apertures, the upadhi, mounted on a rotating base, causes a seeming plurality. The bahutvam and the chalanam don't belong to the light at all. This is the concept we should learn about Atma. Next, please. So, the verse concludes with the phrase, Saha eva adyaha sa u shvaha. It is the same consciousness which is now and also in the future, meaning there is no change. This is the answer to the question asked by Nachiketa, evam prete vichikitsa, and anyatra dharma, anyatra adharma. Next slide, sir. So this is the next verse. Yato udakam durge prishtam parvateshu vidhavati evam dharman pratak pashyan tato taneva anuvidhavati. Tan eva anuvidhavati. So the gist of this mantra is Dvaita darshanam leads to mortality. That means Nana eva pashyati. He who sees duality ends up with mortality, and na eva nana pashyati. The person who has Advaita darshana ends up with immortality. In this mantra, the word dharman pratak pashyan means jivatma, and pratak pashyan means bahutva darshanam, nana darshanam. Previous slide, sir, please. Tan eva anuvidhavati. He will be reborn again and again into the same world of plurality if he starts seeing every jivatma as distinct from the other. Tan eva means into that very same world of plurality, and anuvidhavati means he is reborn. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Next slide, sir. So we have been given this example of yato udakam durge vrishtam parvateshu vidhavati. Next slide, sir. So as many streams of rainwater flow down the slope of a mountain, these streams could divide into distinct rivulets following different paths only to get absorbed by the earth and to dissipate. So water divided is water destroyed. A jivatma who sees plurality will experience mortality. But if all these various streams unite, they could form a mighty river. Next slide, sir. And this river could join the ocean. Next slide, sir. Next one, please. This is the last verse. Previous one, please. The 15th verse is Yato udakam shuddhe shuddham astikam tadrik eva bhavati evam munehe vijanati atma bhavati Gautama. So here Yamadharmaraja gives another example for Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam, and he says if you take a small glass of pure water and another large trough with the same pure water and pour the water from the little mug into the large trough, the common factors being Shuddha water, and when Shuddha Udakam, Shuddhe Astikam, it's poured into the larger one, Tadrig Eva Bhavati, there should be no difference between the two. They become indistinguishably one water. Next slide, sir. Similarly, Jivatma Paramatma Tadrig Eva Bhavati, once the seemingly different upadhis are dropped. Atma Eka Bhavati Gautama is Nachiketas. So Yamadharmaraja is telling Nachiketas, if we drop the adjectives Jiva and Parama and just see the Atma, where is the difference? So Munihi or Vijanataha are wise people by Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana have understood this fact. What we have to remember is that for the Jivatma to mix with Paramatma indistinguishably, he has to be a Shuddha Jivatma, like Shuddha Jalam. That means he should be a Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna, a Jnana Nishta, and he can become this by the practice of sadhanas. Next, please. But we must see that in this example, merger is a physical event which takes place in time and space. But Jivatma needs no relocation to merge with Paramatma. Merger here is notional. And why is it notional? Because there is no physical distance between Jivatma and Paramatma, which is all-pervading. It is just the knowledge that there is no division or difference between them, which is figuratively called merger. This is an intellectual event. It is only by right understanding. Jnanena bheda nivritti is aikyam. Last slide, sir. So does an ajnani have aikyam? Aikyam is certainly there, but due to ajnanam, he has disowned it. Something like Karna not knowing that he is a Kshatriya. This is a notional distance. So Jivatma needs no relocation to merge with Paramatma. Jnanena Veda Nivritti Aikyam. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anupama. So one quick look at the three mantras of today's class. One is Angushta Matra. Matra means measurement. Angushta means the thumb. Purushaha, the indweller. The Atma can be figuratively imagined to be of the size of the thumb. What is its quality? It's Jyoti. It is the light. It is because of which I know everything. And what kind of light? Adumakaha, that which does not have smoke. But it is not an ordinary light. Ishano, it is the Lord. Lord of what? Bhuta and Bhavya, of the past and the future and the present also. Then he makes, I have put this highlight in red. Sa eva dhya, whatever is today, sa va shva, whatever is there today will also be there tomorrow. Remember, Yamadharmaraja asks, Nachiketa asks, can you tell me something beyond dharma dharma, something beyond cause and effect, something beyond all three periods of time? You know, there are many things that change with time. And there is some things that never change. What is that which never changes? If you look at your own photograph, your body has changed, your mind has changed. But the indweller through that body mind that I have been seeing since a small child is the same. So this is the discovery of the dhruvam in the adhruvam. So this mantra talks about that Purushaha, that indweller, which is like a light, is the same. It is the same today. It is the same tomorrow. Adi Shankara uses this to refute many other theories, many Buddhist theories, and so on. The whole Valli concludes in two water examples. One water example described by Dr. Anupama is like, now if rainwater falls on a mountain, it dissipates. That means when there is multiplicity, it is like mortality. So that is what this mantra says. Yatodakam, Durge, Vrishte, Parvateshu. When there is disparity, it produces mortality. On the other hand, if you are able to add Yatodakam, Shuddhe, Shuddham, pure water to pure water. Now, although you are giving an example of one joining the other, now this is the limitations of examples. The Jivatma does not have to mix with the Paramatma at a particular period of time. There is no separation or there is no distinction between space within this room and the total space. Just because there is the presence of wall, space can go through the wall also. In fact, the whole wall is within space. If you have that vision of that Purusha within the heart, that means I am already not a Jivatma, I am Paramatma. That Paramatma is temporarily playing this body of a Jivatma. I all the time know I am that. So that is how this concludes. With this vision, let us answer the quiz for today's questions. Dr. Anupama, please.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. So we are now very familiar with this Angushtamatra Purusha Madhya Atmani Tishtati Ishano Bhuta Bhavyasya Na Tato Vijugupsate Etad Vaitad. So can we call this a Mahavakya mantra, and if so, why?
Certainly, yes, we can call this the Mahavakya mantra, because if that good Atma, that hidden thing is there everywhere, it is there in me, I have to discover it in the cave of my heart. My cave of my heart is my mind. So that entity is seemingly localized, but it cannot be localized. It is only a figurative way to say it is of the size of the heart. It is a space within the heart like the thumb and so on. We can have more questions on that. Please continue.
I think we have just explained this. Do we have to go through this again?
We'll proceed.
Yeah.
We'll proceed.
Yeah. So, some more questions here. Yeah. So, what, according to this mantra, is the size of the heart?
According to the mantra, what according to this mantra is the size of the heart. Now, symbolically, we have to see that the Purusha, Angushta Matra Purusha, is of the size of the heart. It be the size of my fist. And if I want to say how big it is the space within the heart, and that is the size of the thumb. Now, these are figuratively given in the Shastras. The Shastras also want to understand that this helps us to actually do various upasanas. For upasanas, you need to anchor on something. That is why this Angushta Matra Purusha are also called Ahangraha Upasana. That means Aham Vigraha. I have become the Vigraha. I have become the statue. So I meditate on myself, of the Atma within the cells. So these are all, the Shastra is giving us some pictures for us to identify, to anchor on. But remember, these are only figurative. The Parabrahma, Paramatma cannot be limited to the size of the thumb within the heart and so on.
Also, maybe it gives us a concept of how immanent Atma is, although it is transcendental.
Very good.
So that's why we are also told the nature of Atma, Ishano Bhuta Bhavyasya. Although you feel that it's within the thumb-sized within the heart, in reality, it is Ishano. It is the controller of past, present, and future that gives a size of magnitude which is more than any space within the body. Next.
So two words to remember as immanent is very intimate to me, and transcendental and limitless, that is beyond. So this has been explained. We won't go through this now.
No. Let's go on. Okay. This also we have explained at length. Jyotihi adhumakaha. Why is consciousness compared to Jyoti or light? You have told us over and over.
Jyoti or light is that because of which things are known. Therefore, all my sense organs are also compared to lights. I'm able to see because of my eyes. I'm able to hear because of my ears. All my sense organs can be compared to a Jyoti or to the light. However, the light of all lights is Atma.
Absolutely right. Jyotishyam Jyoti. We can proceed because we've just done all this. Yeah. I don't think there's need to explain. Okay. Now, in this next mantra, Yato Udakam Durge Vrashtam Parvatesho Vidhavati Evam Dharman Pratak Pashyan Taneva Anu Vibhati Vidhavati. So the message given in this mantra is Dvaita Darshana leads to mortality. Advaita Darshanam leads to immortality. Jivatma, who sees plurality, experiences samsara. There is no distinction between one Jivatma and another, all of the above.
The answer is all of the above, which means if I see Dvaitam leads to immortality, if I see Advaita Darshanam, that leads to immortality. The Jivatma who sees plurality experiences samsara. There is no difference between one Jivatma and the other. We are all the same. This is the answer of this mantra.
That's right. So, again, in the same thing, in this mantra, the word dharman means righteousness, like of dharma, artha kama. And or does it mean punya karma phalam? Does it mean jivatma? Does it mean paramatma? Does it mean ajnani? Or does it mean a sadhana chatushtaya sampanna?
The word dharma can have all these meanings, but in this context, it means jivatma. Only then this mantra becomes sensible.
That's right. Absolutely right. So in this other example that we had, yato udakam shuddhe shuddham astikam tadrig eva bhavati. The message conveyed here is Advaita Darshanam leads to immortality. A large container, Parama, and a small cup, Jiva, cannot alter the oneness of the content. The importance of Shuddhatvam or Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, only a Vijnataha, a wise person, can see beyond the different upadis or all of the above.
So please read all these lines. It is all of the above because this is important.
This is the essence of this mantra. Advaita Darshan. Sorry. Okay. So from this same example, we understand that Jivatma is Paramatma. Yato Udakam Shuddhe Shuddham Astikam Tadrig Eva Bhavati. So, what is the difference between the merger of water from these two containers and that of Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam?
Now, whenever you give an example, there is a limitation in the example. The example has to convey something and the limitations have to be dropped. The example that we want to see is when the water, pure water, and from the other container, when you mix to them, which is Jivatma, which is Paramatma, we cannot make out because they are all the same. But in this example, what happens? This merger happens in time. It is a process. Whereas our true nature blending with Paramatma is not a process. It is something that is always there, and it is not something that happens in time.
That's right. Merger is a physical event here in time and space, but Jivatma need not relocate to merge with Paramatma because it's only notional, there being no physical difference. It's only knowledge that makes the difference. It's an intellectual event. Jnanena Bheda Nivriti is Aikyam, nothing else. Last one. Does an Ajnani Jivatma have Aikyam with Paramatma?
Certainly, it's like Karna. He's always that, but he does not know.
That's right. So Aikyam is only disowned because of Ajnanam. So the distance that he feels is only notional. He needs no relocation. He only needs Jnana. Jnanena Bheda Nivritti is Aikyam. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you indeed.
We have come to the end of today's satsanga, which has further reiterated our understanding that we are limitless in reality and the limitations are with the upadhi. Our profound gratitude to our teacher, Dr. Timappa Hegde sir, for an enriching session with all our doubts cleared, and to our quiz master, Dr. Anupama ma'am, for this brilliant quizzing wherein the much needed assimilation has been initiated. Param Vedanta thanks each one of you for your continued interest in the pursuit of Atma Vidya through our series of sessions and also for your positive feedback. We meet again on coming Monday, the 14th of November, for the 15th session of Panchadashi. We conclude today's session with our usual Shanti mantra, and you may please chant along. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.